Okay, so what we're talking about here are field timers, right? And kind of an issue with field timers and how to fix it, right? So in this particular case, we have an internal form here that has a DJ date, a catering date, a florist date, and a cake date, all right? And these are all dates that we're going to send emails out to vendors, right? So every email goes to the same vendor in this particular case, right? And it basically, they want to wait a certain time because they know how long a vendor needs to get ready for an event, and it's all different times, different dates. Okay, so these guys got their systems down pretty well, and so they want to be able to send this out. But every now and then, right, somebody needs to change the date of their wedding, which means we need to change all of these dates. So let's go into. We'll just go into the catering one here, and so what happens is this is all set by field timers, right? So all those dates are fields in the contact record. And once somebody comes into the sequence, as soon as they hit that field timer, right, whatever date was in that field timer, it's stuck, it's locked, okay? So if you go back to the customer record and you change the date, it's not gonna change the date that this email goes out, right? It's still gonna go out on the original date that was in that field timer, right? Based off the original date in that field timer. So the only way to change that, if you needed to change that date, is to pull them out of the sequence and then put them back in it. So that's what I've created here is a way to do that. So here's another form that I created that will open up, and ultimately these are the 4 different dates that they might need to change. Okay, and so we've got a checkbox and the date, right? So the checkbox is what the thing that's actually going to create the action. And the new date, right? This is the new date that they need to work. So if we just click on the checkbox, you'll see that I apply a tag here, and it's called the campaign tag, right? Because like I use the campaign tag category because there's no other reason for this tag other than to make this campaign work. Okay, so it's a campaign tag, and it's called cake date change. Which makes sense, right? So you need to change, changing the cake date, check the box, put the date in there, and then when you're done, hit submit because this is an internal form. So you just hit save. And what that will do is, I think that was the cake one, right? It will apply this cake note, right? Or this cake tag, and it will pull them out of that sequence, right? And the same for any of these. Catering is going to be the cleanest one that we can work with here, right? So it'll pull them out of the sequence because they've got that tag. But it's also over here, right? The exact same tag will push them back into the sequence, okay? So we'll take a look at that, right? So same tag. And so the same tag over here, okay? And that will push them back into the sequence. So it pulls them out and pushes them back in. And then once they go in, right, we've got 2 starts. So the very first thing that's going to happen here is it's going to remove the tag. Okay, so that way we can go through this process as many times as we have to. All right, so if they change the date 5 times, we can go in there and change the date 5 times just by filling out this second form. So that is how you get around the issue of field timers, which is once somebody hits a field timer in a sequence, that date is locked. And if you ever need to change it, you got to pull them out of the sequence and put them back in. And using the same tag on both sides and removing it in the middle is what will allow you to make that loop as many times as you need. All right, hope that helps.